Loads of bits there on the side there.
You go for it. You want scissors, Claire?
Yeah.
You want scissors?
Yeah.
You're on the 16th.
I go on the 9th. Where are you going?
Oh, yeah. Where are you going? Sorry.
On the board, Johnny Roger. Oh, this is the boy. Very well. A little bit, move down.
Your number 3.
I know. He's the only one too I know, you see.
Oh, well, I think that's you did bring Sylvie, didn't you? No, she's been like this.
I think with Ransom, shall we? Are there any other seats? Not now. And on the left is the Thames Studios.
Maybe I'll go through one. Yeah, we speak to her. Yeah. All right. She's sorting out. What are you doing?
All this new development.
Excuse me, folks. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Watch what you're doing though, because we've got Keyhole William here.
Can I take off my rotary badge and put it in there? Yeah. It says something about I think it fills me enough.
Yeah, so there.
to go somewhere else. When the people having off here all day and we can't have your crap around.
That's right, they were.
Oh, I see. Not experiencing. You're going to usher us all back. You're going to usher us.
Another way.
I'm still going hot and cold a bit about, how much tax you
All the CIA. Yes, exactly. Dark now.
All the president's men.
This is all the important. We like this. We've got these little earpieces here going.
Oh, yes, it's the Matrix.
Go, go, go.
Forever referred to as Palmergate.
Rings, checks, got it all.
How was the boat journey all right then?
Very
Do that.
Go past. I need a few more seconds.
Vanessa, did you hear it golf? And did it show you?
Did he gasp? Are you sure it was
I
golf?
didn't realise you.
Yes, everything seems to have come together.
Yeah. Is that different to the last days?
They will now contract their marriage before you. At this point, I would ask you please to stand up with them. Turn round a bit, face each other. These are the words that in law will make you husband and wife. Hold hands, all right? And Christopher, you go first. I call upon these persons
I call upon these persons
here present
here present
to witness that I,
to witness that I,
Christopher Michael John Palmer,
Christopher Michael John Palmer,
do take thee, Vanessa Buckfield,
Vanessa Buckfield,
to be my lawful wedded wife.
to be my lawful wedded wife.
Vanessa. I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Vanessa Buckfield, do take thee, Christopher Michael John Palmer, to be my lawful wedded husband. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher and Vanessa have decided to mark the making of their marriage with the traditional giving and receiving of rings. And they put the rings. I'd like to give Christopher the ring that he's going to present to his bride. Left hand, third finger. The one she's popping out. Do lace it on, all the way on. And will you say these words to Vanessa? I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a sign of our love
as a sign of our love
and as a token
and as a token
of my commitment
of my commitment
to share our lives together.
to share our lives together.
I will love and care for you,
I will love and care for you,
cherish and respect you,
cherish and respect you,
and be there for you
And
when
be-
you need me.
and be there for you when you need me.
Thank you very much. And Edward, you have another one. Right, place it on the third finger, left hand.
Hay fever.
And will you say these words to Christopher? I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a sign of our love
as a sign of our love
and as a token
and as a token
of my commitment
of my commitment
to share our lives together.
to share our lives together.
I will love and care for you,
I will love and care for you,
cherish and respect you,
cherish and respect you,
and be there for you
and be there for you
when you need me.
when you need me.
I didn't say that. Christopher and Vanessa, you have made the declarations described in law. You have made a solemn and binding contract with each other in the presence of your witnesses and your guests. And I'm very delighted to tell you that you're now husband and wife, and you will kiss your bride. And where's Tim? You get quite close together now, I've married you. Go on that side, sir. You go round.
I'm leaning down a bit, I think it's real. Cool, and both looking straight into the camera. Thank you.
Into a service in Richmond in church.
Oh, and you've been caught without your shades on.
How do you zoom?
Zoom, see that thing there? You know, T, zoom in, W, zoom out.
Speak to anybody else.
So how are you feeling?
Just get a shot from here. Excuse me. Vanessa?
Do I have it now?
Oh, yours.
What are you doing up there?
Vanessa and Peter? Again, again.
Well, do you want the rest of it? I've got loads of this. I think it's lovely. That's it.
Drinking.
There's the other guy with the Yeah?
To show us the cleavage. We're talking down here.
How's it going then, William? Hello. Hello, mate.
It's doing all right, aren't you, dear?
Thanks for reminding. Come on, David Bailey.
So many more wanted down there.
Before I toast the, hello, can I have your attention? Before I toast the bride and the groom, I'd just like to say we've got a glass of Kir Royale here. There's a free bar at the back there for everything apart from spirits, and there's a cash bar for that. So without further ado, I'd like to toast the beautiful and incandescent bride and her surprisingly supple groom. The bride and the groom. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, music.
You want to go on United? She come on? Did she come on our boat? On your boat?
Stand on the rail.
To make it.
He's all going to go over you.
In the wrong.
Don't fall in.
No.
Get off Jerry.
You know he's going to be at Ravens 8, don't you?
I'll stay on land.
Congratulations, really nice wedding.
You should have seen them. I mean, they were just walking.
The only reason for its existence is to have sort of conferences and weddings.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.
Yes, thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what this has got in is I better give them to Ed.
Well, Billy, glad to see you working at last. Thank you. Give me another go. I didn't want it.
What were you saying? I was very convinced.
Thanks very much.
Okay, great. Thanks very much.
It's all right, don't worry about it. Just get on with it. Sometimes
What do I say? Welcome all. Unaccustomed as I am to public address. And you're not in your shorts either. Please bear with me and to allow me to complete my task.
in the allotted time of 10 minutes.
It's not much longer than 10 minutes.
It's sent down by sheep. It must be obeyed. The times are. Somebody, I haven't got the watch.
It doesn't matter. I'm watching.
Speech begins, page 2. Speech begins. Vanessa was born on 11th of the 1st, 66. Mum and her had a hard time. It was a caesarean operation, all that sort of thing. That must explain Nessie's cutting written later on. And that was where I cocked this up.
Page 3.
Yeah. She was, and still is, a beautiful happy baby. During the day. Because at night she's horrible. To say the least. God pays debts without money. Thanks, Joe. But she slept all night with her nana. This is crap now, isn't it?
Get on with it, darling.
At school, she was an imaginative student, did well in O-levels, A-levels, collected a degree at Lancaster University, and made us all very proud. Am I doing all right for your time, John? Yeah. I'm pushing this bit. Yeah, I'm pushing this bit. I've got to slow up for you, sir.
Take it easy, be alright.
Well done, Ness. Whilst at school, she had a few boyfriends. Been a nice looking girl. She had a few, yeah. Been a nice looking girl, she had a few offers. Most of them scrawny and unkempt. None of which was to her brother's liking.
Poor old Nick, you've been blamed.
Still on the subject of boyfriends, whilst at uni, I need a stiff drink now.
You're alright, come on. You'll just think it's over and done.
She met this weird and wonderful creation called Chris. Scruffy, long hair, earrings, skinny, very posh voiced. Typical student. Now grown to love, and I do love him, he's smart, he's short-haired, rotund. Typical student. Sorry, typical accountant.
You're alright,
Who's now the father of my lovely grandson, Joe. Nessie has always been the 3 B's to me. Bright, beautiful and bossy. Chris, what can you say? He's a lovely lad, with his head screwed on. He is caring, and I didn't spell that right. He was a caring guy. He's a caring guy and we like him. But most of all, he loves my daughter and baby Joe. And that's enough for Mum, Nip and me. Cheers. Should I do it again? Because I just rehearsed that bit. Cheers all. Thank you very much. A toast to the bride and groom. Cheers.
Riding group.
Get this one in.
You need to come down.
Brief. So I've entitled my speech Reflections on Boyhood, Section 1, Part 1, Chris, 0 to 3 months. No, not really. Please, no. My speech is actually significantly shorter, it's only this. What I thought I'd do is get it on the right page to start. But I mean, traditionally, best man speeches, you're supposed to kind of lampoon, lambast, and generally kind of ridicule the best man as much as possible. I'm just going to buck that trend. I'm going to buck that trend tonight. I'm just going to concentrate on the really positive, interesting, inspiring aspects of Chris. So it just remains for me to thank the bride and the groom. That's it. 2 false starts now. This is the real speech now. Right. Well, what can I say about Chris? It's tricky because Chris has kind of morphed and mutated over the years. So there's kind of different sort of personalities. He started off with this kind of sort of cute little baby with these kind of doughy eyes. There'll be a picture to follow soon. And then he suddenly transformed into this kind of fiery toddler who used to get very stressed out at his particularly feisty and overbearing sisters, Claire and Charlotte. Just like to give us a wave. Then he became this sort of cheeky schoolboy, developed this alarming tendency to climb any tree that he saw, no matter how tall. And unfortunately, his sister Charlotte tried to emulate that at one stage and fell 30 foot from a hazelnut tree, and has never been the same since. Then he became this sort of stroppy adolescent, this sort of 17-year-old who devoted the majority of his teenage years to a heavy rock combo called Barbed Wire, which is the scourge of Chipstead and Banstead, and also me when I was going through my "I can't get to sleep when you're practicing your guitar" phase. Incidentally, it has been intimated to me that Chris's guitar playing has often been likened to his love-making. Erratic, noisy, not particularly well-timed, and almost always on the theme of Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Never been able to work that one out. Then he became this kind of foppish English and drama student at college, slave to the latest fashion trends. And this is absolutely true. He was the winner of his college's Poser of the Year competition. Absolutely true, that one. And then, of course, he became the love-struck 20-something who met Vanessa while car sharing back and forth from college to home. And this blossomed into a beautiful romance, which culminated in them actually with Christopher proposing to Vanessa on Purple Point in Swanage one blustery afternoon 10 years ago. Then he became the determined accountant who went into business with his father, breathing new life into the practice as he rode into the office every day on his Suzuki Bandit like some kind of modern cavalry charge, dressed in leather, but on bikes, not horses. Right, anyway, so to the next page. And then finally, of course, the family man, absolutely dedicated to his life here in Surbiton, with the beautiful Vanessa and the lovely Joseph, who can't be here with us tonight, unfortunately. So that's the brief resume of Christopher's life. I thought, by way of celebrating this life, we might play a little game which has involved me trekking over to Kingston to buy the lead that I forgot to bring here tonight. So it's quite a complicated game, and usually what happens with these sorts of things is you play this sort of Mr. and Mrs. game where the bride is tested on their knowledge of the groom, the groom tested on knowledge of the bride. What I thought was, because we've got all these beautiful close friends and relations of Christopher and Vanessa, that we'd actually test your knowledge of Christopher. So it's a kind of game of call my bluff. So we've got different scenarios, but each scenario you've got to guess which is the right one. And they're all perfectly true scenarios, so this is a thinly veiled vehicle for me ridiculing Chris as much as possible. But what I'm going to do, actually, I've got some props here. There are 3 nicknames that Christopher has been known as over the years, and I've printed these out on paper. And each of the nicknames will correspond to one of the answers. So instead of ABC, it'll be one of these nicknames. So if you could just pass those round. Whilst they're being passed round, I'll kind of explain to you why the nicknames were so called. They are Mooley, Captain Scarlet, and Hattie Jakes. Just keep passing them round. Now, Mooley, I tried to ask Claire, my eldest sister, why this name came about, and
Basically, she said it was the first name she could say, so most kids say what they see, so they say Mama, Dada. But Claire, for some reason, would just point at everything. Mooley, Mooley, Mooley. So he pointed to Christopher at an early age, Mooley, and that name has stuck for the last 30-odd years. So that's the first nickname, Mooley. Captain Scarlet, I've got a photo clue here, if you can just hold up the projector. Captain Scarlet. He was known as Captain Scarlet because during his college years he took to wearing quite a bit of makeup. So much so, in fact, that he resembled one of those Jerry Anderson figures from the Captain Scarlet series from the 60s. So that's the second nickname. The last nickname, Hattie Jakes, is a much more recent one, and... oh dear, right. It was so cool because during the time when Joseph was born, Christopher did, unfortunately, lose a little bit of sight on his own physique and put on a little bit of weight and started to resemble, apparently, Hattie Jakes out of the Carry On films, you know, the one who played the matrons. Okay, so, on with question one. Put the Hattie Jakes picture clue up there. Oh, I've been told to say matron in the way that I know, which is... Oh, matron. Right, okay. For those of you who can't see what we're going to show on the board, there's hard copies as well, clues as well. So the Hattie Jakes picture is coming round. Okay, so question one, it's all chronological.
Hattie Jakes.
That was Hattie Jakes. Or not. Okay, so you are, imagine you're Christopher, you're 2 years old, you're living in a flat in Stockholm with your parents and your 2 sisters here. You're a bit bored and you're looking for something exciting to do. Remember, the correct answer did actually happen in real life. Okay, so for the Mooley answer, was it that you somehow found your way to the flat below to ask the peculiar male Swedish neighbours for some sweeties? Mooley answer. The Hattie Jakes answer, did you eat a 1 krona piece and subsequently get hospitalised? Or was it the Captain Scarlet answer, which is you attempted, with your sisters, to create a full-size swimming pool in your playroom by pouring hundreds of gallons of water into it, and thereby causing thousands of pounds worth of structural damage? Okay, so if you shout out the right answer and wave that answer around, shout out the right answer. We've got the majority of Captain Scarlet, I think, and it's the right answer. Yes. That was the picture. Okay. Next one is that's the Okay, this is Christopher, the first of many of his tonsorial errors. More pictures to follow. So here we are, Christopher, can you imagine, picture him at 5 years old. You've just lost a board game that you've been playing with your sisters, and they're teasing you about it, quite badly. Do you, A, this is the Mooley answer, do you remain stoically silent, vowing to yourself that you will commit harakiri if your mother gives birth to yet another daughter to taunt you relentlessly? Is it the Hattie Jakes answer, that you actually physically pass out with rage? Or is it the Captain Scarlet answer, that you kick the playing board in the air, wail like a banshee, and give your nearest sister a dead leg? Okay, we'd just like to wave your cards now. Wave your cards. Mooley, Hattie, Scarlet. It's a hung jury. The correct answer was actually, he did actually physically pass out with rage. Another hairstyle to go down in the annals of history. It's the Franciscan monk look. You're about 13 years old. You want to impress your mates at school and boost your popularity, which is, for obvious reasons, been flagging. What do you do to impress your mates? Do you, A, this is the Mooley answer, Do you leave a raw leg of lamb and jar of maggots in your geography teacher's desk on the last day of term, so by the end of the holidays, the whole classroom needs fumigating? It's really bad. Is it the Hattie Jakes answer that you draw an elaborately detailed male member on the classroom chalkboard, finishing off the testicles just as your form teacher walks in? Or was it the Captain Scarlet answer that you construct a homemade fire bomb in the playground out of sweet papers, gunpowder, live match heads and spent rifle cases, and detonate it just as the headmaster walks past? Mooley, Hattie or Scarlet, can you wave your answers, please?
Scarlet.
It's a pretty convincing Captain Scarlet. It's the right answer. Obviously, this phase did lead to heated discussions with parents, headmaster, threats of expulsion, threats to withdraw school fees. And he's here tonight all the way from Reigate Grammar, your headmaster. Right, the next one. No, this is just a break. I didn't quite know what to do with this picture, but I thought I'd chat anyway. This is Chris during his Donny Osmond phase. Okay, the next one is Dexy's one. Use that one. Yeah. The Dexy's Midnight Runner phase. In Swanage. Okay, so now we're in college. Chris is at college. It's his first year. He's sharing with a guy, I don't remember his name, but he was so lacking in basic hygiene habits that he made Shane McGowan look obsessively neat. Now imagine this flatmate has just told you that he's managed to unblock the toilet by mashing up, this is terrible, by mashing up his TARDIS-like bowel movements. With what, you ask? Well, Chris, enter Chris. You come in, you want to eat your pot noodle, you spot an apparently clean fork on the draining board to eat with. There's only two responses to this. Do you A, put two and two together? This is the Mooley answer. Do you put two and two together and go to the drawer for a definitely clean fork? Or is it the Hattie Jakes answer? You don't put two and two together and you eat that meal with a sullied fork. What's the answer? Is it Mooley or Hattie?
Hattie!
I'm afraid you're all right, yes. I should have left that question out, actually. Right, and it's the last question. What's really the best? Is it Wixie out of EastEnders? I don't know. Oh, that's the right, you're still at college. This is some of your latter years at college. You're attending an important social event at college. And you feel like a bit of Dutch courage before the event. What do you do? Is it the Mooley answer? Do you go to the pub and get a bit tiddly with your mates? Is it the Hattie Jakes answer? You have loads of high-strength lager at home, fall asleep in front of blind date, and leave your new girlfriend Vanessa stranded on her own? Or is it the Captain Scarlet answer? You drink a whole bottle of vermouth before getting on the local bus and vomiting so copiously that the puddle of sick is lapping around the ankles of everyone on the bus by the end of the journey? Is it Mooley, Hattie or Captain Scarlet?
Captain Scarlet!
And the answer is yes, it's Captain Scarlet. Yeah, Mooley, he can usually, I have to say, he can usually take his fair share of booze, but on this occasion, not even he could withstand the onslaught of a whole bottle of that foul liquor. So, I think you deserve the final picture here, because you've all done so well in the quiz. And we're going to show you the final picture, which was shot in Chris's calendar years. It was Mr. August, 1987. Okay, I'm just going to finish up. This is a slightly more serious note. I mean, it goes without saying, really, I don't think Vanessa could have picked a better man than Chris to be her husband. And a quick round of applause for Chris. he has been a fantastic older brother to me over the years. He's been a role model in ways that he probably knows about and ways that he probably doesn't know about. He's always quick to give. He's very slow to take. There isn't an ounce of maliciousness in Chris's body. And I just wanted to take this opportunity just to thank both Chris and Vanessa. They probably not all of you know this, but they put me up for almost a year of my life when I was trying to get my first job in advertising. You know, it was proving a bit difficult, and they very kindly said, you know, put you up for a few weeks, and sort of almost a year of deep irritation later, I was still there. So I really want to thank you both for that, and I always appreciate that. Thank you. Just finish off there. I mean, they're a genuine, very warm-hearted couple, and I'd like you all to join me for a toast and wish them many more years of happiness with Joseph and the rest of the menagerie in Villiers Avenue. So if you'd all like to raise your glasses to Chris and Vanessa. Cheers. That's it, and I'd now just like to hand over to Chris.
It's very nice and humiliating. Obviously, my speech is going to be a little bit more serious. So if you want to just sort of sit back in your chairs and I don't know how we're doing on the clock.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay, no rush. Make it quick.
Have a coughing fit.
Vanessa and I have hesitated committing to marriage all these years is that we actually both still feel like a couple of kids. So please bear with me if I collapse into people in any point or something. The toilet. And I should warn you that if things go really badly, I may faint dramatically. I mean, on a Thursday, apparently, and they claim no memory in the last 7 hours. But I have written in my speech actually that one of the things I would try not to do is to embarrass you with tears and not to lose control of my voice.
I've got really good
More
feeling.
emotional moments, so I really will try not to do that. Our hesitation has also been due to our enormous respect for the institution of marriage and acknowledgement of the enormity of the commitment you've been making to one another. In fact, Vanessa has been battering me for years, and my decision to finally commit has been as much as you've been worn down. I feel ready to surrender. To give up that sense of passion of freedom. You don't understand that. Vanessa may give you a different version of events. And in fairness to her, when recently asked what had originally attracted her to me, she could only reply after much deliberation that at least I had returned her stomach. As good an explanation as any in my book. However, since it is I and not Vanessa who must suffer the humiliation of standing before you, it is my version of how and why our finally ended with her proposing to me on the 29th of February that will remain on the record. We were lucky enough to meet at college and have the opportunity of spending much more time with one another than I expect most couples initially enjoy. Obviously being careful not to allow our studies to suffer. Surprisingly, our relationship suffered, but survived those. Our relationship survived those early days of overexposure, and we were still living in sin. Although we soon learned that the reality wasn't quite we soon learned the reality wasn't quite as wild as that description may suggest. On reflection, we had not intended to get so serious so soon, but we did become very good friends very quickly and helped each other through our final year. During our more strained moments, however, I've been rather harshly referred to as the one-night stand that wouldn't go away. As you've heard, in a mad moment on Christmas Eve 1987, I proposed to Vanessa on top of a cliff at Delscombe Country Park near Swanage, hoping that her response wouldn't be a violent one. In many ways, it was the reaction of others to our announcement that made us appreciate just how serious our decision had been, and ensured that naming the day would be consigned at the bottom of our list of priorities. What had been a very private decision suddenly became very public. I'm aware that in many ways we may have disappointed our families, living together from a young age, an unexpected engagement, a hastily put together engagement party, joint mortgages, birth of Joseph outside marriage, and maybe a key wedding. But nothing we have done has intended to be controversial or reactionary, nor be meant to offend anyone. In fact, you'd be hard put to find a more serious or level-headed couple, boring as that may sound. And what's more to the point, I have enjoyed every moment of our time together and have no regrets. Has our decision therefore been motivated by finally surrendering to convention? Well, not really. Although there are many practical reasons for a legal marriage, I would like to think that it marks a step up in our relationship and a commitment to our new family life. Also, weddings are fun, and we thought it would be a nice surprise for everyone. And so, to my lovely bride. Over the last few weeks, I've tried to commit to paper some of Vanessa's qualities and time. So here goes. Cheap joke, sorry. Same mine. For those of you who know Vanessa, you will know that she's a person of contrasts.
I'm struggling now.
Charitable, but sometimes unforgiving. Reserved, though extremely forceful when required. Shy, whilst courting attention and admiration. A great friend.
Shy.
And a formidable enemy.
Oh yeah. I agree with that.
Conventional and rebellious. Self-confident but vulnerable. Loving and occasionally cruel. Controlling whilst desiring spontaneity, sophisticated but with an extremely crude sense of humour. Mentally disciplined but physically lazy. Selfless but prone to being self-engrossed, pleasure-seeking and yet prudish. Honestly, after 13 years with you, I'm exhausted. But above all, she has taken care of me, and although a cliche, she has made me a better person. I was just about... I was going to say, actually, this is the end of this spoken. I was going to say, not want to hold back on honest guidance on self-improvement. I was eventually prompted to dieting by a relentless campaign that included plastering the most hideous fat boy photographs all over the fridge, taunting me with the nickname Patty Jakes. Patty, which you will now have heard.
Patty!
And so to some of the highlights of our time together. At the top of my list must be the arrival of our beautiful son, his traumatic and emotional birth, the comic and yet tragic the comic and tragic christening ceremony performed by a escapee priest. The brilliant christening party arranged by Vanessa, his first birthday, getting up at 7 in the morning to watch the reading of birthday cards on children's BBC, and the fruits of Vanessa's art aid exhibited before the nation, glitter, copy-paste glue, poster paints and all of his family around him at his party, and many, many fantastic family days we've had together. And as an undergraduate, arriving at my room late one night, I desperately bashed out my already overdue dissertation bearing Coca-Cola, chocolate and 20 D&H. And I'd just given up at that time, so it was a big, that's very much, probably a disproportionate thing that I've written down at that time. It was fantastic. The writing of essays, which we did routinely. Up all night. Up all night, all day. Early morning drives with Vanessa's old Datsun along the coast road. That was my best car. Providing practical, emotional and financial support to me during the dark years of my professional study, which put great strain on our relationship. Pulling a number of flankers to get us out of negative equity with our flat and buy our house. Getting in on her business trip to Chicago. I was going to say get numerous sexual photos. Organising a surprise 30th birthday trip to New York and some great holidays, including the time spent in Jerusalem during the Festival of Sukkot. Beautiful autumnal weekends spent in Howard for the students. Enjoying a meal together at a waterside restaurant in Gozo watching the sun go down. Rescuing me from an attack on our tent by a giant rat. And the many times spent in Swanage. And introduced me to some good friends, some of whom are here today. And finally, introduction to the Buckfield family. And so what does all this tell us about families in which I come from? Well,
You could be sued.
well, not a great deal, really. Despite some similarities, Vanessa was often described by those who know the families as something of a changeling. Not that I mean to compare one less favourably with the other. They're just different. They are very kind. They're very good fun. A bit eccentric. And they seem to have the ability of befriending people from all walks of life. I vividly recall the grand procession at the end of our graduation ceremony, headed by the Chancellor, Princess Alexandra, being held up as Her Royal Highness stopped for a chat with none other than Anne Peter. I'm sure Anne and Peter didn't know what to make of the rather androgynous bloke who played their daughter home the young one. I've later learned that the words snooty, odd, quaint and possibly queer. After some initial hesitation, however, the family, including Nick, have been very welcoming and farming on their own. To the extent of sending me money to buy a suit for my graduation. And now, to some. I'd like to thank, first of all, my best man, Ed. He's been fantastic. Really is a dubious honour. I hope you don't ever asks me.
It was nothing, really. It really was nothing.
Something for you here, so just to say cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Shall I come up now, or...? Yeah.
And also I'd like to thank the ushers who've done a sterling job today. There were a number of areas where things may have gone wrong and we don't know what they're doing, and they did really very well. So I'd like to thank the following people who I'd like to stand up as I name them.
My pleasure.
Nick. Stuart Miles. Fantastic, Stuart. And my brother-in-law, Dave Manning. Well, we would also like to thank thanks for coming. I really enjoyed myself. I'd like to thank a few other people. And again, I'd like them to stand and take the applause. Nikki and Brenda for their work on Vanessa's hair. I'd like to thank Tim for his reading.
Lovely.
I'd like to thank Brother William for his unobtrusive films.
Yes.
Vanessa asked me to add this one. She'd like to thank Richard Fern for his glowing reference in support of Vanessa's recent application to take an MA in English at Kingston, which she's starting this term. So Richard, would you mind? Richard, I'm sorry, it's very embarrassing. I would also like to thank the Luca restaurant for being such a good host to us. Finally, I'd like to thank my bride. Without whose attendance today, none of this would have been possible. Actually, pretty much the whole day has been conceived and organised by Vanessa, for which I owe her much thanks. Although I have a reasonably clear insight into how married life is going to be with Vanessa,
You have no idea.
I genuinely look forward to the endless surprises that are life.